right here just on YouTube, bringing some type of entertainment right here just for you.
We are here back for another book club Wednesday. Of course, I just made that up because I have book club on Wednesdays. But anyway, this week, if you've been following along, we have been reading Louder Than Words by Todd Henry. And this past week, we read chapter 6. Of course, as always, I go over the points that I got during the chapter. And I also, after that, open the floor for you guys to be able to discuss some points that you got from the chapter as well. But let's see here. So, chapter 6 is about how will you get there? And the points that I got from the chapter is to develop an authentic and compelling voice, you must master a set of skills that let you bring that vision into the world. There are two categories of skills discussed in this chapter. One is the refinement of your basic craft. Two is the intuitive mastery over emergent ideas and themes in the world around you. Now, the purpose of picking yourself is so that you can put yourself squarely in the place where your work will eventually be noticed and given an even broader audience. To increase the likelihood of this, you must one, be in game shape at all times. Two, learn to spot emerging ideas and opportunities. You know, the opportunities will arise at some point, and in order to take advantage of them, you must do the difficult work along the way so that you are ready. Now, basically, this reminds me of the phrase stay ready and you ain't got to get ready. And also, whenever Les Brown says it's better to have an opportunity and well, it's better to be ready and have an Jesus, let me get it right. It's better to be ready for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be ready. There we go. So Les Brown said that it's better to be ready for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be ready. So that's basically what this reminds me of, because the synopsis of being game shape ready is basically like you're always like whatever your craft is, whatever your skill is, you're always ready to emulate it. You're always ready to take action on it whenever there's anything that comes up for you to be able to take advantage of that. Like if you're a speaker and you're at an event and they're like, oh, we need a speaker real quick. And you're like, I can do it. Right. But if you haven't been practicing your speaking skills and different things like that, then you might be a little timid and you might be like, I'll let somebody else take advantage of that. So is you got to stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. That's the all time phrase that always rings at all the point. But anyway, let me continue on with the points that I got from this chapter. Now, it's not enough to make daily measured progress on your work if it's not deliberate progress. So basically, it's like if you're just doing things, which I can speak from experience. I've had a bad habit of just continuously doing things. Like just being busy, no point, just being busy, feeling like because whenever we're busy and we're doing things, then we feel like we're actually making progress and we're actually doing things. And it's like, no, sorry to tell you, but you're really not doing anything. So you have to be deliberate with your actions. Be intentional with the things that you're doing. And that's something that I've been working on, like, especially personally, I have been working on as of lately over the last month or so, is actually being intentional with my actions. So, definitely, like, don't just consume yourself with being busy. You have to be intentional with whatever you're doing. Be intentional with everything that you show up. Like, is it better in your business? Is it better in your life? Is it better in the enhancement of your life? Is it better in you in the areas that it needs to be better in you? Is it pushing you forward in the areas that you need to be pushed forward in? Like those are the things that you need to be looking at whenever you're actually out here doing this work and you're actually out here taking action. Like don't just be spinning your wheels. Please, 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 please don't just be spinning your wheels because we're at a time that is greater than any for us to make sure that we're showing up as our best selves and we're showing up for our businesses. We're showing up for our families. We're showing up for our dreams and our goals and our visions to be able to create the things that we want to create in this life. But Let me continue on with the things that I got from this chapter. Now, if you're not moving in a meaningful direction, failure is a likely outcome. You must determine the skills that you must master and set aside time each day for developing them. Define what meaningful progress means today. What problem are you working on? Not the projects or tasks, but what problem are you working on? Be clear and vocal about expectations and objectives. Ensure that you and your collaborators understand one another's expectations for the work, your individual roles, and the deliverables. Fail forward. Follow in the direction of your objective, not to the side. Practice deliberately. Dedicate yourself to deliberate practice, meaning you break down your bigger objectives and tasks into smaller skills and then work purposefully to develop them over time. Be ready to sprint. You have to be prepared for those moments when the work will demand everything you have for a season. Sprint when necessary, but if you're being intentional and deliberate, your work should require occasional sprints, not an all out foot race. Be intentional and deliberate about your activity and be willing to sprint when the occasion calls for it. Practice every day with the dailies. Create a list of tasks that you must do each day to get better and progress your life. Have them for personal and business. They help you develop your voice because they force you to continue moving even when you want to stop. It's all about timing. If you learn to time your work properly, then you can take advantage of already existing momentum to carry your message further and cause it to resound more deeply. There's a quote that I really like from this segment, also by Ken Kragen. And the quote is: "You can do the best work in the world, but if the timing isn't right, it's going to be wasted." So for me, basically what that means is that if you can do all of the great things, but if the timing isn't right, then you're basically just going to tire yourself out. Like if you read along in the chapter, they tell the story of like a surfer trying to learn how to surf, and they're like, the surfers know the exact timing, so they know they're not about to rest their wear their bodies out because they're trying to jump on every wave. They wait for the quote unquote perfect wave to be able to take those waves and surf with those. But anyways, let me continue on. Another factor to consider if you want your voice to truly resonate is the context at which you introduce it. Pay attention to ideas that are already gaining momentum. The adoption curve will be much shorter if you're able to contextualize your work within something that's already familiar to your audience and has cultural momentum, which requires the skill of timing. People are more likely to become enthused about an idea when they see that others around them are also getting behind it. Now, understanding the human tendency to get behind something with momentum can also give a needed boost to your ideas if you time them properly. You have to contextualize your work for your audience. When you look for opportunities to use your voice at the intersection of these three factors: one, what you care about; two, what they care about; three, emerging ideas, then you give your work its best possible chance to succeed. So basically, this is tying in all of the things, all of these three factors together and showing you exactly what you can do to continuously move your work forward. Like I mentioned earlier, definitely being intentional on the things that you're learning, the things that you're doing, because I can speak from a place of experience. I used to be a person where I'm just like going, like learning whatever it is to learn because I love learning new things. I love being able to. But what I've learned is that there is so much out here for you to learn. You got to get clear about the things that you want, because if you don't, then there is plenty of people out here having webinars and master classes and different things like that to draw you into whatever direction. And then you'll be psyching yourself out like, yes, I can do this. Then you get in it and then you're like, well, why am I not enthusiastic about this? Or why am I not moving forward with this? And it's like, because that's not your passion. That's not what you were called to do. That's not what you wanted to do. You have to really sit down and get clear about the things that you want to do. So that way you can be able to really see what are the skills that you need to learn for these things. What are the things that you really want to do to be able to move yourself forward? Because once you know what you really want to do, then you can start narrowing in on like, okay, so I need to learn how to get speaking in order. I need to learn how to present in this way. I need to learn how to elevate in this way. Like that's those things that come in handy whenever you truly know exactly what you want to do. But you got to get clear on your vision. You got to get clear on your vision. You got to get clear on your purpose. You got to get clear on what you want to do. Even with reading this, like I thought downright that I was sure. Like I am sure on what I'm doing, but it made me see like, dang, that's I can do an even deeper dive into what I'm working on and my mission in life to be able to get me even clearer on my vision, clearer on the people that I'm working on helping, and all of that. So, oh, we have a guest. One moment, because I have been ranting and raving, so I will let you speak. Hello, hello, hello. We have a guest coming in. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Good, good, good. So I was overhearing your conversation and I was just thinking maybe, it is like a clear eye point of view of for you and your future that you're really actually making a confidence to putting this lineup together, this book together for you to help others around you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I get
And that's
that.
a true indeed blessing because people could read your story not knowing who you are, but they'll find out who you are after they read that story and really, really touch people's hearts.
So I haven't written, well, I have written a couple. I have a productivity book that's out now. I have another book that I haven't released yet, and some other books that I'm working on. But
Like
right
I'm trying to
now,
get into book writing and stuff, but I don't know how to go about it, where to go about it, how to do about it, and whatever. So it's like it's a confusing state of mind for me. But I have certain ideas and concepts of what I want to do. I
yeah.
just haven't gotten there yet.
I totally understand. Well, initially, this is book club, so this is where we read books and then we discuss them. We're currently reading Louder Than Words by Todd Henry. Today we discussed
Nice,
chapter
nice.
6. And it's just about harnessing your power of your authentic voice. But definitely, like if you want to write a book, if you want to be able to write a book, different things like that, I would definitely just say just start. Like start by journaling. Like whenever you journal, you're being true to yourself and you're just writing out your story. So start there. Start with just writing out your story. Start with just being yourself and writing it out. And then you could start linking with other people to be like, okay, how can I put this in a book format and different things like that. Like,
Yeah,
I
because
think,
I had an idea like, all right, I don't want anybody taking it, but I don't even want to say it, but I'm gonna put a couple of poems that I put together myself personally. And so each, well, all right, might as well go ahead and do it. Well, the book that I'm gonna be doing, I haven't come up with the concept of the cover yet or anything like that, but each individual in the book is somebody I know that lived that lifestyle
yeah.
and they gave me bits of parts of their life. And I remember just being around them vividly. It plays in the back of my mind like a tape recorder. So I would just picture all those things and times that I spent with a lot of people, and I just put them on the book.
Right, right. That's kind of like
It's deep,
if
yo.
you've ever watched if you've ever watched Best Man. I'm pretty sure everybody has at some point in life. But if you ever watched
Nah, I
Best
haven't seen that.
Man,
I haven't seen that yet.
you haven't seen that? Oh my gosh,
Nah,
that's
not
like a
yet.
classic. Oh my god. You gotta watch it. But he
I gotta check
basically
it out.
like
Yeah.
he basically told a story, which it
Mm.
was like a real story, but he used characters to disguise the people's real names and different things like that. But then it ended up coming out and it was a whole mess. But like you could do something along those lines. It just all depends on like how you want to tell the story. I think like whenever people are writing, a lot of times they get hung up on the fact of oh, it's got to be this way or oh, it's got to be that way. No, just write the way that resonates with you. I've read books where people are like just chilling, writing.
Mhm.
And I feel
Yeah.
like that's the most coolest thing ever because we have to give ourselves the opportunity to be able to express ourselves in those creative ways instead of just
Yeah.
being,
Yes.
oh, it's so formal and it's got to be this way. Man, screw that. If your writing style is you writing this stuff out, like, yo, blah, 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 blah. Somebody, it's going to resonate with somebody and they're going to be freaking super motivated by it. They're going to be like, wow, oh
Right.
my gosh. Like,
I mean, that's the vision that I'm trying to get out there, and hopefully it does touches millions and millions of people out
yeah,
there, and they can show their children and their teenagers and everybody out there is willing to learn about each individual because not everybody, everybody's similar in many aspects and ways. We all go through struggle and pain, right?
right,
How do we deal with that? How do we overcome our achievements and become who we are now? So
right,
like I get
right.
into details. I get into depths with a lot of stuff. So I have a poem, if you don't mind me sharing, if it's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. This is called oppression, a precious human life. A precious human life. Every day as you wake up, today I'm fortunate to have woken up. I'm alive. I have a precious human life. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to use it. All my energies to develop myself, to explain my heart out to others, to achieve enlightenment for the benefits of all beings. I'm going to have kind thoughts towards others, and I'm not going to get angry or think boldly about others. I'm going to benefit others as much as I can. Yeah, that was
Hey.
it. The end.
Nice,
Question mark.
nice. Nice, nice. So what is going to be like the whole concept, like the purpose for your book? Like who are you trying to reach? What are you trying to portray to the world? What impact are you trying to make?
That you know me because I look at it now through the pandemic and everything that's been going on. It's been affecting a lot of people. Like we've been affected so much where everything's being digitalized about how to pick up a book, write, read, journal, like you was telling me, sis, like and just take time to really analyze so much things to better yourself mentally the old school way than what we have now. And don't get me wrong, I love digital. I love the future. I love what's coming for America and people and stuff, but you know, everything's going to be digitalized. We're going to burn papers, waste tree papers, and there's not going to be any more books anymore. So you look at it like books are starting to become extinct as well. It's good to gain knowledge from all of this to really let things soak in your mind.
Right. I agree. And the way that technology is advancing, it's advancing at a rapid rate, which that's
Mhm.
like I'm supportive of it too. AI, all of that stuff. Like I love Chat
I love it.
GPT. I love all of
Yeah.
that stuff. Like everybody else is like, well, blah, blah, blah. Like, bro, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people that are against like the digital advancements and different things like that, I can understand certain people in certain professions and different things like that being against it in their own way and different things. But at the same time, like if you learn how to utilize AI and you learn how to utilize the digital advancements and different things like that to be able to be like, oh, well, I can use this to do that and woo woo woo. Not only does it help your productivity and your efficiency, but now you're a person that has embraced it and you're a person that knows how to use it. So you could be the forerunner of the people that you have to teach somebody else to do it because if you make yourself be an asset, then hey, you don't ever have to worry about anything. But to get back to your
Absolutely.
point, definitely
Yeah, yeah. Because
we have to get
I'm
back
sorry.
to making sure that we're able to connect with ourselves because like even with our children now they are in their phones, they're on TikTok, they're in playing games and different things like that, not being
Mhm.
outside in nature. Not only that, but we do have a lot of dangers these days. So kids can't just be outside playing like we used to do back in the day. So
Right.
that's another thing. But it's like I totally agree with that. Like we have to get more in touch with those things that really make us think about us, ourselves, and really resonate with ourselves versus just going with the flow and going with everything else that is being told to us and everything.
So, what do you think books are gonna be 10 to 20 years down the line from now?
Well, books are already mostly just becoming digital. Like they're just becoming digital. So most of the times it's gonna, I feel like, yeah, some people will still print out books, but most of the time it's gonna be like the way it is now. You have these ebooks, you have books on Kindle, you have books on Audible. That's mostly what people do. And for me, like my sister, she loves listening to audiobooks. Cool, cool, cool. Like
I
I've
do
listened
too.
to some audiobooks, but for me, it resonates more with me. Like even though I have a whole catalog of over 100 plus personal development books that are ebooks, like even whenever I get to reading those books, I still print them out so I can have them and be able to highlight and do different stuff like that because it resonates more with me whenever I'm able to
Yeah.
have it in my hand and read it and all of that versus just listening to it. Because if I'm just listening to it, then it's liable to go in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, you're not grasping the aspect and the productivity of the book and stuff. Yeah, and I get it because it's good to have either a soft copy or hard copy in handy or just double copies just in case that one book, you lose it or misplace it somewhere and it burns or whatever the case may be. But you have an extra copy where it's yours. That's a physical copy right there. So yeah, that's a true indeed blessing. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But it's all about everybody finding what style works for them. Because my style might not work for you. Your style might not work for me. Our style might not work for Sammy and Joe over there or Susie Q over there in the corner. Like, who knows? Like, it's all about finding your own style. But whenever it comes to writing your book, definitely take your time and write that sucker. Write that sucker and let it out to the world because the world needs your story. They need what you have within you, and only you can give it to us.
Right, right. Because basically, not everybody has, well, everybody has a story to tell, but each individual story is different. Not everyone's gonna have the same story,
Right,
and that's the beauty of it, where these stories that I put together, and they were friends and roommates and people I knew in my past life, and it's just like, okay, you're taking puzzles that are scattered everywhere, right? And you're putting them all together, right?
right,
But you're looking at
exactly.
the big aspect. Once it's put together, it's whole. And then when it's whole, you're like, man, I achieved this. This is what I worked hard for. This is what I wanted people to hear, see. I hope
Right,
that they
exactly.
grasp every story so they could apply it better in their life or their children's life or someone around them and make an impact. So that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yes, definitely. And you can do it. You can absolutely do it. Outside of that, did you have any other points you wanted to make? Or you got like a minute and 30 seconds. Let the people know who you are,
um,
what you do, where they can find you at, different stuff like that.
okay. Uh, I'm new to wisdom, everybody. I'm still growing in the community. Just trying to, just be
Okay. So I
be
mean, what is
more.
your name? What do you do? What's your passion? Like
Oh, my apologies. I'm an anime gamer slash gamer. I like to read poems. I like to nothing basic. I'm just a normal human being like the rest of everybody else trying to.
totally understandable. Totally understandable. Well,
But listen,
definitely
I
you
like to
guys.
say everybody, peace, love, happiness, namaste, and blessings to all. And yeah, hopefully one day I can get this book finally out. I have a couple of them, and each book has a story. And yeah, A
Yeah, you
pleasure.
can do it. All right. Well, you have an amazing day. All right, you guys. So that just closed out our book club Wednesday. If you missed any portion of this show, I definitely will have it up on YouTube later today, as I also posted there along on my blog. I think I'm going to start posting on my blog as well, just for those people that like to be able to read the notes and be able to listen in. We read chapter 6. Now we're in the final stretch of Louder Than Words by Todd Henry. We're going to be reading chapter 7, 8, and 9 by next Wednesday. Believe me, you could do this. It's not that bad, honestly. That's why I broke it down like this, because if we would have tried to conquer part 2 with just within a week, yeah, y'all would have probably been like, "Girl, what is you on?" But we could definitely do part 3. We could do part 3, close out the rest of this book, so that way we can decide on our next book. I'll be seeing what the book is. If you guys have any titles that you would like to have considered thrown in the fire for us to be able to read next, definitely DM them to me, send them to me, different things like that, so that way we can continue on our reading journey. Outside of that, definitely you guys have an amazing week. Remember, chapters 7, 8, and 9 we are reading this week, and we will come back here next Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, to discuss the points, go over the points, give you guys a platform to speak, and different things like that. All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful and amazing week. Have a wonderful and amazing day. Go out there, be great, be amazing. Don't allow anybody to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, because you absolutely can, because you have the ability to make it happen. All right. Remember that life is too short to be anything but motivated. Now get out there and turn your dreams into a vision and make that your reality. I love you guys. See you next week. Bye.